Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and I wanted to jump on and channel the energies for the Twin Flame Collective. How is everybody doing this weekend? And so it's feeling really intense is what I'm feeling when I tap into the masculine collective. It's like this high stress, anxiety energy. There's definitely a shift. We are a day away from the spring equinox. Tomorrow we have the new moon in Aries on Tuesday, the first of two Aries new moons over the coming 4 weeks. And so there's definitely been a shift. I felt it kind of creep in yesterday. This morning we did have Mercury enter into Aries early this morning, and so communication just got a little bit more direct and blunt. It is the energy of like speaking up is what I'm feeling. We have the sun conjunct Pluto tomorrow. These are big energies, and we have Pluto at that critical degree of 29, right? At 29.55, and so we're days away from Pluto entering into Aquarius, and so all of these energies are very intense. I was unpacking my crystals yesterday and finishing up my cleanup and reorganization this morning from the market on Friday night, and I'm like, what is the significance of this? I was so upset this morning. I kind of grow a little bit attached to some of these pieces, and I remember the day I got this gorgeous dragon fluorite piece. I actually channeled the energies and did a video called There's a Dragon in the House, which I'm going to tag the video to the end of this one if you missed it or you want to go and watch it again. I think there's a significant message there about facing that inner dragon, that inner beast. I find it interesting that the piece that actually broke off was the head, and in two separate pieces. And so Monster with Two Heads was the song that kind of came up, and I had to sit there. I actually shed a few tears, to be honest, because it was such a beautiful piece. But like it's interesting. It's like off with the head is what I find interesting. And so there's a lot when it comes to like fragmented thought processes, I feel, for many of the divine masculines right now in the collective, all to get us back to that energy of Eden, right? That energy of joy and bliss and love, right? And so this is about our service mission, absolutely. And so I feel there's something significant in that crystal breaking, and so two fluorite pieces actually were damaged and broken over the last couple of days, because as I was unboxing one of my favorite pieces, I love fluorite because the lovely teal and purples, and this one was broken in two, and so something has recently split is a big message. Something has split. There's been some type of tower or ego death, especially with the dragon energy coming up. So I kind of wanted to talk about what I journaled about. I actually pulled some cards right away after the dragon broke, and I gathered my emotions, which were quite intense, over a crystal. And I chose the Wisdom of Avalon deck. I was drawn to that. I've been having a lot of very active dreams recently. So many vivid, active dreams. It's like I'm not even getting any sleep at nighttime. I'm astral traveling somewhere constantly. And so I did use the Wisdom of Avalon because I've been really drawn to Celtic culture. We just had St. Patty's Day. And so these are the cards that came out. I was shuffling, and I don't normally like to show you the cards that were shuffled off camera, but we're going to pull in a little bit deeper. But this is what came through: the dragon and the horse. And so this is about harnessing power, strength. I do feel like spiritual energies are kind of coming in and delegating authority. It's the energy of karma kind of playing out. A lot of the masculines have a hard time accepting help from another, and that's their ego, right? They battle with their ego when it comes to asking for assistance. And then on the bottom of the deck, ooh, I didn't even see that below, we get the trust, right? Which is a green energy. which is asking us to trust, right? And that is the energy of the heart. And look at that. Look at what's below that. We get the eagle. It speaks of spirit, integrity, and connection to the spiritual angelic realms. And that's also like that eagle's eye view, right? That higher perspective. Usually you see an eagle flying so low. And look at that. Ooh. We get disruption. So that's that tower energy. And it looks like an emotional disruption coming through. And then we get the hawk. So this is basically omens playing out, karma playing out. I feel there's been a lot of messages coming in really, really quickly. Now that Mercury is in Aries, things are going to be coming in quickly. Messages from your higher source energy. And so this really is about living consciously, right? We got the living consciously, the deepening relationship to self, and reconciliation. I kind of just laughed. I was like, what kind of sick joke is this, universe? Because I wrote this very lengthy letter of release. I've yet to actually hit send to send it to the counterpart. But I'm ready to just release, right? Is kind of where I'm at. Focused on self. Aries is about the self. I'm really excited to think about offering some master classes coming up here. I've had several people reach out recently and ask about, you know, mastering their own birth chart or learning the tarot. So I think I'm going to offer that in like a live session, a group session over the course of several weeks. So I'm interested in getting that promoted and put out there. So looking forward to that. Keep an eye out for that information on the community tab coming up. But so when this come out, I thought that was the last thing on my mind, right? This reconciliation. And so it's decision time. We are being asked collectively, masculine, feminine, everybody, twin flame or not, to make decisions to consciously live our life, right? To choose to understand that all of these things that happen constantly are not by, you know, coincidence. And so when we choose to better our life, then we allow everybody we're connected to embrace that energy with us to better their life, right? And so we on this journey are asked to deepen that relationship to ourselves, because in order to fully know yourself too, you kind of got to spend some time in solitude to get to know yourself, to really take a look in that mirror, to understand what does bring you joy, what brings you that motivation to get up every day, that brings passion and joy into your life, and how do you manifest this creative art in your life, all while practicing self-love each and every day, right? And it's not easy, all while healing some deeply rooted trauma, right? And so reconciliation with a loved one on the horizon. So this is channeling twin flame energy, and so a reunion, a reconciliation. And I do feel as we come into this place of reconciling and creating that closure internally, this does all play out externally in the divine masculine's world. And so there was also, you left quite the impression with the fresh start. So this, you know, this flower symbolizes a rebirth. We got the karma card with the lessons, which is similar quality to the world. And so, you know, I feel a lot has been recently uprooted. And then we get the fixing what's broken. You know, I remember one time on my journey many, many years ago, well, it feels like forever ago now, where I had asked my counterpart to meet me at a park in town to have that face-to-face, to create that closure. And as I was waiting in the parking lot, of course, he never showed. It was that song, I Wear My Sunglasses at Night, was on. And so I always get a little chuckle with the sunglass card and fixing what's broken, because there's been a lot hidden. There's been a lot masked. And so I do feel, look at on the bottom of the deck, bringing forward this heightened awareness. The energies with the Piscean energy. We have the moon in Pisces this weekend. The sun is almost in that critical 29-degree mark, closing out Pisces season as we prepare for the spring equinox, which is bringing us out of the shadows into the light, equal balance of night and day, right? Masculine and feminine. It's the balancing energy, the 0 point, and then the new moon at 0 degrees the very next day. And so this is where all of this kind of shifts, right? And it truly is about unconditional love. So what I do feel is there is like an emotional shitstorm ready to brew to the surface. I know I did speak very bluntly and directly this morning to my ex in regards to the girls and all of that cycling of inconsistency. Well, he's been consistently inconsistent. And so at what point do we cross the threshold and there's that consistency, right? It takes more than a child support payment every week to say like you're supporting your child. You need to be there emotionally. You need to be there when it matters, right? That's important too. It's not just about financial support. It's about spiritual health, emotional health with the children as well. And so, and I'm very direct and blunt. I don't really sugarcoat a whole lot of stuff. And so learning to mature along the way that I direct my communication in those aspects as well. So a lot kind of shifting, right? I feel a lot of the feminines are mastering these karmic lessons and really stepping into owning their truth and their power, which is creating a big shift. So what I kind of journaled about was, I do feel as the feminine kind of like embraces this love for life, it creates this phase that the masculine is going through right now with the moon in Pisces. I feel the energy is very moody. All of these limitations when it comes to these cyclical karmic experiences are really fueling this acceptance of this death, this transformation energy. Because I feel a lot of the feminines are, living a very aesthetically pleasant life. They've got this appreciation for the journey, especially with Venus moving through Taurus. And so I feel like the feminine is okay being alone. She's open to sharing. She's ready for a relationship. And I do feel a lot of profound inner realizations of what needs to leave the feminine's life to really embrace this joyous harmony, right? It's like another layer of understanding, a deeper spiral of understanding when it comes to these cycles. And so I do feel the masculines are feeling very weak, very unhealthy as the feminine releases these patterns and steps into her authority, which is creating, I think, a lot of challenges for the divine masculine, because the feminine really is attracting a lot of high vibration contracts and friendships and business partnerships and stuff like that into her life. And so this is really impacting the masculine is what I'm feeling. And so I also feel a lot of overindulgence or decadence was the word that Spirit wanted me to use, which has really fueled the masculine into a very perverse, negative spiral. And he's in the energy of judgment, is what I'm feeling when it comes to all of these unhealthy patterns. And, him coveting all of his energy and resources, right? And so I feel a lot of negative manifestations is kind of what I see. And there's like this electric spark. I feel like this rebirth by fire. I was shown like this fire energy around the masculine because of all of the negative influences. He's surrounded himself and it's this deep desire to feel alive again. But he's in this very codependent situation, I feel, that has really hindered his creative drive. And so there's a lot of confusion. I feel there's a lot of confrontations going on within the masculine's life, which is getting him to question what it is that he values. I feel a lot of the masculines are on defense, right? Because they fell victim of this temptation, regardless of whatever temptation that was, whether it was a person or a drug or anything unhealthy. And so they're really defensive right now is kind of what I see going on there. And we've got Mars like full steam ahead too. It's out of the post shadow too. And so I feel the masculine is being carried away with a lot of challenges right now. Because, the energy is ripe for the masculine to step into this better life, this better cycle with the divine feminine. But he's going to have like a mountain of challenges. He's going to have to focus and channel this energy properly, right? He cannot keep still is what I'm feeling. And so this profound pause, I guess we'll call it, this profound pause of ghosting, of silence that this leads us down, is bringing forward a lot of aftermath, consequences at this time, I feel. The energy the masculine was sitting in when I felt, it's like he cannot be stilled. It's like this electric activation. It felt very, very electrifying. And so we do want to think before we speak right now with Mercury and Aries, and so that's why I kind of held off on hitting that send with that message that I wrote, that I journaled for my counterpart. And so we're gonna want to really think before we speak over the coming weeks. And I do feel like there's some type of abrupt ending, and maybe it was made by a selfish decision or something, but there's all of this pressure kind of building, and the red energy, seeing red, like with the root chakra. So there's fears when it comes to facing, I feel, these physical challenges, because there's been a lot of inaction for a long time, a lot of control issues coming up, and I feel like even though the masculine's been in this cycle of deep dissatisfaction, he's felt like he's been in control, and he doesn't want to disturb that comfort zone, that tranquility of the comfort zone, right? But I feel this deep emotional withdrawal. So it's not like they're living a life of fulfillment. And so there's going to be something to disturb that tranquil energy, because it's really not tranquil. It's more like like a restraining energy. And so, and that's lacking like this acceptance, I feel, of the heart energy. So I feel the energy is perfect and ripe for this conscious understanding, though, to come forward. I feel like there's been so much lack of action. It's going to be hard to come forward with like an explanation. And I do feel they've lived in this convoluted delusion for so long. It's going to be hard to correct this misunderstanding, is what I'm feeling, because I feel the feminine just wants peacefulness in her life. The feminine is coming into this harmonic and balanced attunement, regardless of the situation with the divine masculine. And I feel like the feminine really, it doesn't matter at this point in time. It's like there's no pressure. She doesn't feel like it doesn't matter, is kind of what I'm feeling. So there's a lot of disillusionment for the lack of genuineness that the masculine's shown. And so the delusion that he surrounded himself really has stolen him away from the real deal, is kind of where he's sitting at. And I feel the energy is extreme, the pressure is real, and the masculine is very much disturbed right now in the mind space when it comes to all of this kind of coming full circle and having to course correct and work on what he kind of spoiled in this connection, right? Because he kind of made very poor decisions out of spite, even though the masculine faced a lot of changing circumstances in the at the beginning of the separation. He made decisions out of spite. And so the energy of Christ is coming up big time, I feel, especially as Easter approaches. And this refusal to correct or modify that poor judgment call, to avoid course correction, eventually is going to lead to that upheaval either way. And so we're breaking down the patriarch, is kind of what I'm feeling in the energies. We're breaking down the patriarch and rebuilding. And so it's this energy of like, I feel a lot of the masculines, I know from my own journey, I know my counterpart has heart issues. He did have a heart attack, unless he lied about that. Who knows, right? I really don't know what to believe that he said at this point in time. But I do feel many of the masculines have to accept like this terminal like disease. I think a lot of the masculines are facing like some type of health issue, or like not terminal, but like long-term health issues. And so acceptance of that and finding their faith in this spiritual regeneration for their healing journey, right? Because there's potential for correction anybody can take a UE and course correct at any point in time. It's all a matter of choice, right? It's all a matter of free will. And so I feel this rage, like rage against all of this energy, this futile raging energy building is kind of what it felt like with the Aries energy, Jupiter and Aries now, Mercury and Aries, and we're about to enter into Aries season. And so I feel like there's this energetic obsession towards the feminine, urging him to clean house, to get his stuff together. It's like a disillusion of all of these old programmed beliefs, and he's paying that high price. And so he's obsessed now with critically correcting this. And so all of the energies are creating these rigid judgments. I feel a lot of people are judging the masculine right now, creating all kinds of problems. That's kind of what I'm seeing. And so I feel like the fear that they've got to work through right now is they don't feel very competent. They don't feel adequate to come forward and face the divine feminine. So they're facing all of these difficulties, which is making them feel even more inadequate at this time, creating this over anxious energy of indecision, feeling like there's no escaping this ego death, this fall from grace, this misfortune. Because the universe is demanding this correction at this point in time, is what I'm feeling. And so there's definitely wisdom to be gained, I feel, in these lessons. There's strength to be accepted. The masculine has spiritual power beyond his belief in himself, right? And so he doesn't have to go through this alone, but he does have to speak up, right? It's the energy, I feel like, with all of this instability. It's like this energy of like madness, the Mad Hatter, madness. Like he's feeling like maybe he should be in the mental ward. It's feeling like a mental patient, like he's losing his mind because he's been in this chronic state of indecision and anxiety for quite some time. And all he needs to do is seek that guidance from the feminine. He too can provide that guidance for others if he steps into his potential and corrects this poor judgment and heals these relationships. And so I do feel a lot of mental instability is playing out in the energies right now. But it is this energy of upholding what is right, doing the right thing. We need to understand the spiritual journey truly is like this lifelong process of correcting and improving and mastering our inner Buddha, our inner sage, and perfecting our spiritual form, and to get into that state of being an eternal divine child. That's where that purest energy of unconditional love resides. And so we are on the precipice of a new horizon. We can't stay in a state of non-movement, of stasis. We have to course correct. We have to rise above the mundane. And I do feel we have to share our journey. And so I feel the masculine is facing a lot of public judgment at this time. So I'm curious to see what other cards will come through. I know we got some big energies coming up. But we're going to pull in with, we'll pull with the numerology oracle deck. And then we'll jump in with some tarot. And we'll see what other messages need to come through. But I do feel a fresh start. I do feel over the coming 4 weeks, a lot of these karmic lessons and cycles are going to be coming full circle. The energy, this is the energy of walking with Jesus, walking with Christ, right? The footprints in the sand, the footprints on the heart. You left quite an impression. This is a higher divine connection. The impression is on the heart. You can say you're done and you're going to walk away and the impression just doesn't leave. So I'm curious to see. So I do feel a lot of the feminines have prepared for a fresh start with or without the counterpart. And this is what's bringing forward this karma. So that's, I think, why we're kind of being asked to trust at the moment. happy ending. So I do feel a happy ending is around the corner. So physical activity, you might want to just, you know, get out there. I know it's beautiful out here today where I'm at. The sun is shining. It's a little chilly, but it is a good day for a walk. But there is change coming on the horizon when it comes to these unions, spirituality. And so if you look back to the 7/7 portal last summer, there was a major shift back then when we entered into the Sirius Gateway portal. And I do feel the masculine's been in a timeout, in a dark night of the soul energy since then, going through these changes, closing out this cycle, and preparing to return for this spiritual partnership. I want to say, like, we've really persevered through these challenges. The last 5 years or so have not been easy for many of the twin flames, for many of the counterparts in separation. Many of us have been called to rebuild that foundation of self through the heart, to persevere. And so I do feel after this rebirth process, the masculine will be coming forward with that genuine effort for this new adventure. But right now I feel his physical environment is still a little bit of a block, a little bit of a challenge at this point in time. Let's get a couple star seed oracle messages, and then we'll use the tarot. We'll see what star seed messages need to come through, because I know there's been a lot of activations, and I know there's been a lot of abrupt, sudden endings. Oh yeah, there's like that Fool energy. Look at that, and the great severing. So double mission. A lot of us have a double mission. A lot of us, our mission is to come into union and to just serve the world by being our authentic selves. A lot of us are light workers, star seeds, and a lot of us are also channelers and here to call in our star family and to activate certain ley lines with Mother Earth. And so there's been a recent severing. There's that Mars energy, conflict, anger, the severing of the karmic challenges in order to soften the masculine in the heart space. And so there's a lot of ancestry coming through, like ancestors bring forward the wisdom of the past. So this is where I feel the feminines are being asked to really stay grounded in their 3 lower chakras as the masculine journeys higher. And then we get Andromedan energy. And so Andromedan star signs, they do hold unconditional love. And so it's like jumping into this new adventure, the Fool, and getting back to that inner child, like I talked about. A lot of inner child healing, and that is where our rare gifts do reside, in that core inner child wound. So there's been a lot of severing of these karmic contracts recently. So let's see, what tarot deck do I use today, guys? I'm on the fence. I don't know. All right, I'll use this deck today. So I'm going to pull a few cards into the masculine's energy to see where he's at currently. You found your fudge in the Barbie drawer. Good stuff. So we'll get a few cards for the divine masculine first, and then we will pull into the feminine. Ooh, kind of come out sideways. Oh, they are having a hard time, I feel, with their emotions. I do feel an emotional release. They are having a hard time staying grounded. So this come out sideways. So this is a challenge, right? They've not been taking the steps they've been asked to take. The Two of Wands is about knowing which direction you need to go and taking that step forward. Making that decision. I do feel they want to come forward and partner with you. But they are emotionally broken. And then we get the Strength. So I do feel the masculine kind of just feels like he's had the wind knocked out of him recently. That's kind of what it feels like with the Three of Wands in reverse. Whatever they planned for, nothing is working out in their favor. And then we've got like this ego kind of coming through. But I feel Spirit's giving them the strength to go through this heart activation. I do, like, I gotta say, all weekend I was on like the verge of tears all weekend, and I really didn't have anything to be sad about. And so that energy was overwhelming coming from somewhere. I didn't actually cry, but it felt like I could at the drop of anything. And nothing really was there triggering me. So it was interesting. So I do feel going through a period of judgment and reaching a level of forgiveness as well. There is going to be a message coming. I do feel a reach out. They've been watching you go through your personal transformation is what I feel too. They've been watching you go through your insightful spiritual period of growth. And I do feel a lot of blunt communication over the coming weeks. Being honest, blunt. It's not about the feelings, it's about the facts. Aries is about the facts, and so facing the challenges as well. I do feel a planning to come forward with some communication, something small maybe. So let's dig into the divine feminine at this point and see what needs to come through for the feminine. The Chariot. I love it. So this Chariot speaks of rewards that come from your hard work. So you're balancing everything out. You've got so many priorities that you've balanced out. You know, a lot of us, we run a business, we're moms, we help out within the community. And so balancing those priorities, finding your determination and willpower to go forward. So I feel some type of public recognition coming forward for the divine feminine's Chariot. Victory. Like victory, right? This is success. This is you've got your emotions balanced, you're in check, right? You've attuned your energies. So is there anything else that needs to come through for the divine feminine? And it seems like that's it. Oh, and that kind of went on the masculine side. So but this is where the feminine, I feel, is at. This is where I've been at too, deep within hermit, in a period of isolation, a period of self-reflection recently, to figure out what my next step forward is when it comes to my path of being a spiritual mentor, a healer, you know, maybe offering programs to help others during their self-discovery spiritual journey, right? And so I've been taking a step back because I know I've been working too hard. And when I put that pressure on myself, I don't really enjoy it anymore, right? And so finding that balance, I've really took a step back and enjoyed time with the kids this week. We've all been lazy butts all week. I just want to say we've all kind of been lazing around, sleeping in. But that's what we needed, right? Because we are too healing from some deep emotional trauma. But I've done the big purge. And so it's just like that last layer kind of coming up for that clearing. And so I feel a lot of the feminines have really been going in meditation, peaceful meditation, because this is what we've manifested. We're manifesting our next cycle in authenticity and truth. We're not going to leave any stone left unturned in a relationship moving forward. It's going to be 100% all cards on the table, right? And we've prayed for this. We know what we've wished for, right? And so I feel just as the feminine sits back and waits for her wishes to come true and the truth to be revealed, because let me tell you, the truth always comes out. The truth has a funny way of always coming out. The feminine is being asked to trust and to have faith. The universe wants you to have faith. You are coming into a very magical time in your life, divine feminine, good fortune. This is divine will. Because you've closed out these karmic cycles. You learned your lesson. You're stepping into great accomplishment. You've gone through such intense, rigorous spiritual enlightenment. And now you're stepping into freedom. I feel the feminine is free to go any way she wants. And I do feel an ending, right? There is a huge release. There is an ending to what once was that didn't work. There is a new beginning here, but there is a need to release anything that's been holding you back, people, places, and things. That's what the spiritual transformation is about. And so there might be a resurgence of a past ending coming up that went unhealed, that went, you know, without closure. Let me just tell you, somebody here's created closure for themselves regardless, and I think that's what's triggering a heart awakening or a death energy on the flip side of that. But I don't think this person cares anymore. I think this person has found peace, and their focus is work moving forward and knowing that all good things come to those who wait. And so there is a karmic rebalancing taking place within the twin flame collective. And this will lead to a union of some sort. Absolutely. I feel blocks removed. Yeah, there's been somebody living in a state of denial here. Divine masculine living in a state of denial. Not communicating at all whatsoever. Very emotionally dissatisfied. And there's that Pisces energy. The hangman in reversed. Getting unstuck. Somebody's getting a wake-up call for sure. Victory is on the other side of a very painful separation is kind of what I'm feeling here. So let's get one last card. A willing release, right? A bottoming out, a willing release. $49, breaking down to 13. Beautiful. So something is going to bear fruit. This is a connection manifesting, a union manifesting. Kind of feels like the wheel. And this is power of purpose, right? This is stepping into purpose. I think one went flying, but I can't see it. So we're just going to leave it there. So this is some light shining through the dark. And this is where the feminine's at. It is what it is. Whatever is meant for me will eventually make its way to me, right? The feminine doesn't chase. The feminine attracts. I feel some type of body, soul, mind union. The gift. So I do feel something's being exposed. And to me, I see this is somebody that just gets you. That's kind of what I got, guys. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you'd like to book a personal or a soulmate reading with me, check out the description box below, guys. And I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thanks.